Hey, and welcome to the Crew Podcast. We are the hottest podcast rocking right now. We are currently looking for 6 amazing hosts to join our family for season 2 that will kick off February the 1st, 2024. If you're looking for an opportunity to allow your voice, your perspective, and your brand to be heard around the world and seen around the world, then join the Crew Podcast.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Da Crew Podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
Hey. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Here we go! It's my time to rise. It's my time to shine. It's my time to live. It's my time to fly.
Well, welcome. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Crew Podcast. I tell you, it's always a pleasure and an honor to be able to come before you guys every opportunity I get. So, of course, I am not Natalie. I am the visionary Angela Thomas Smith. And tonight, I am standing in. Y'all, you just have to be ready all the time because you never know what may happen. You never know when you may have to step in. I tell you, I stay with something that I can talk about because there's always something pressing that's going on around this great United States of America. I tell you, there's so much going on. For those that do not know who I am, I'm affectionately known as the Queen of Collaboration. My name is Angela Thomas. I am the visionary of the Crew Podcast as well as Aspiring Authors Magazine. And of course, I would not be doing a lot of this if it had not been for AALAC, which is the African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign. I truly believe that in order to see change, we have to be that change that we desire to see. I tell you, I am back in school, y'all, working on my master's, and had an opportunity to mix my my passion with my schoolwork. Y'all know for the last year and a half or so, I've been working with some individuals that's incarcerated, and I was able to get the opportunity to present a proposal through a project in class. So I'm excited about that. Tonight, we're going to talk about some of those things. I know y'all hear me talk about corruption. And that's exactly what my proposal is about. And my proposal is aimed to address the corruption within the parole process in the judicial system of Texas. It highlights the problems and the consequences of corruption, proposes solutions such as establishing anti-corruption task force, implementing transparency measures, targeting governmental officials, judicial authorities, and the general public as well. I also include a call to action that urges the support of legislation to reform the active participation in advocacy, a lot of the things that a lot of the organizations are doing. And I feel like if these steps are taken, these are things that can help restore public trust, ensure fairness, as well as combat corruption within the parole process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, and there has to be goals put in place. Um, and then we have to be specific about who we want to make sure get this information. We have to make sure that we include the government officials, these people that we elect into office, those legislators, those that can address the key decision makers are the ones that we need, legislators, senators, policymakers. I tell you, and the list goes on, but we have to start. We cannot sit still. And the most important thing is that we must provide a comprehensive analyze multiple form of and show these people how corruption has been prevalent in the state of Texas in the parole system. And we have to show how bribery has taken place, favoritism, nepotism, how political influence, all those things, and present data. Y'all, I've looked up different cases and different things, so I have data that I'm going to be sharing, and I'm going to support all of my stuff with facts. So I'm excited about this project. I'm excited. I actually get an opportunity to give individuals an opportunity to understand exactly what it is that I've been talking about. I get an opportunity to understand the consequences of corruption, as well as an opportunity to hear what the proposed solution is. So I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. I have someone here with me tonight to share a little bit on this topic that I have been talking about. He is someone that I have gathered a lot of my information, been able to gather a lot of my information from. He's been able to connect me with a lot of these individuals that's incarcerated. So without further prolonging the show, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Cornell Drummer. Mr. Cornell, if you would please, and if you would speak up so they could hear you.
Well, yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, very much for having me on your show. Yes, ma'am. I've been on the show before. My name is Cornell Drummer. I'm incarcerated, you know what I'm saying, in the Texas prison system for 33 years. And I'm from San Antonio, Beard County, Texas, on a crime of murder and another case for illegal controlled substance. Since being incarcerated, I've went through a lot of dealing with the legal system and trying to understand, the ramifications of how to get out of prison. But come to find out, our system is so packed with so much corruption and so much favoritism and so much, dirt in our system that it's not easy for individuals like ourselves to get out of prison anymore. More or less, it's more easier for us to stay in prison because of the complications of trying to get out of prison. Okay, so as far as, to address, the corruption in our state of Texas, it has been discovered that our system is packed with grand jury racketeering, racial jury misconduct, crime lab crisis, parole board, marking out point system numbers to deny individuals parole. And, our criminal justice system is so short of staff, and our medical system is so short of staff, and that, people are now sleeping on the floors and, in the medical facilities and even in units now, ma'am. So, to address any form of corruption, all of this has been brought to the attention of our government down here. I'm part of a Free Texas campaign, ma'am. In the last few months or so, ma'am, I can say this, that the Free Texas campaign, ma'am, has addressed this matter to the governor, to the state representatives, the Texas senators, the director of the parole board, the director of the TDC staff, and everybody. And still to this day, ma'am, nothing is being done. Not one thing is being done. Okay.
Well, I do see where the state of Texas, I Harris County, I think it is. They are actually going to be spending $11 million to send prisoners to the great state of Mississippi. When those $11 million could be used right here in the state of Texas, and can be used with rehabilitation. Those people that they're sending to from Texas to Mississippi, why can't they look at how they can transform these people back into society, and these people can be working and paying restitution and paying different whatever, so that they can get back into society. I don't understand how you could just throw away $11 million to another state when your state already needed it. It's just like it's what's going on in America right now. You know, we giving billions of dollars to other countries when we are hurting right here in America. You have people sleeping under the bridge. You have people sleeping on in cardboard boxes. You have people sleeping in tents. You have people. I mean, it's ridiculous. But this is the world that we're living in, and it's all about money. And if you don't have money, your voice is not heard. Your voice is not heard. You're brushed under the rug. You're thrown to the wayside, and you're just another number to them. And that's what's happening. What you mentioned, I'm hearing cases of suicide, some forms of homicide, that they cover up and try to make it look like suicide. But the bare fact is that they cannot patrol and do what they need to do, and check on these people like they supposed to, and even do their rounds. I've had inmates tell me that there's been 12 officers to a facility that houses 3,500. How? That is a safety violation for not only the inmates, but a safety violation for the correction officers. And see, a lot of people ask, how do you know all this stuff? Because once again, I was a correction officer also. I was a correction officer for South Fulton County, back in the early, I want to say early 2000s. I was a correction officer. I also was a security officer for the police department. So I've had a lot of experience. A lot of people just don't believe I've done a lot of the stuff that I've done, but I have. I used to do security for the police department. That's how I got into becoming a correction officer. So I've been on all sides of this spectrum, if you want to say. We talk about the food, we talk about the living conditions, we talk about a lot of stuff, and a lot of this goes back to corruption. You know, we can't brush aside all of the corruption that's going on, because again, it goes back to a dollar. You talk about the $11 million that they sent into Mississippi, and then not to mention other states that they may be doing the same thing too. When you got innocent people, that have been proven innocent, that are fighting to get out and have spent 10, 15, 20, 30 years in prison wrongfully because these people will not do their jobs. And then they keep brushing them off. They keep doing whatever they're doing to keep brushing them under the rug, and keep having to make a decision on their cases. And how can that be done when they rushing they hurry up and brush their hands of y'all attorney general, when he should be up under the jail with all that crooked stuff that he done. I don't understand. How can you not like, I don't understand. So go ahead. I'm gonna move out the way because I get passionate about this, because again, this is something that,
because you're absolutely correct, ma'am. Okay, I started coming to prison in 1978, ma'am. Okay, back then we had what we call the mandatory supervision, and back then the federal government had the prison systems back then. And back then, ma'am, everything that was under the federal government, as far as TDC is concerned, was automatically mandatory to where good time, flat time, work time equals the amount of your sentence. With that being said, the ratio of officers to inmates had to match up. Because if the inmates, the ratio to inmates didn't match up, they'd have to close the whole system down. We was at 95% capacity back then. At 94%, the whole system shut down. And what they would do is put buses outside of each unit in the system and make sure that they let go everybody who was eligible to be set free. So with that being said, that's what they call the revolving door. Because back then you had people getting out, coming back to prison, getting out, coming back to prison. But the issue turned out to be this. When they gave the issue to the state, and it turned into 150% capacity, that's when they started building all these systems, these units, and filling up these units with inmates. Okay, so when they went to fill up the units with inmates, when the state took over control, the state just relinquished all responsibilities to maintain the Eighth Amendment, which is to keep people free from cruel and unusual punishment. You have people dying in here from medical conditions. You have people, you know what I'm saying, sleeping on the floors. You have people in up here, I'm talking about, man, parole is a joke. You know, don't nobody make parole in the state of Texas. Why? Because it's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise now. So now our government, he's refusing to issue an emergency release the way we did back in 1985. The same way. He got the power right now to relieve this system of all these inmates that's eligible. We got special needs people up in here that can't even walk. People got terminal cancer. These people are not a threat to society. We got people who are overly incarcerated, 30, 40 years in prison. Okay, we have people up in here, ma'am, that's parole violators doing 85% of their time. We have people up here, ma'am, that's ready to make parole right now, but the government will not issue an emergency release. Instead, what he's doing is taking people off the count and sending them to Mississippi and paying $11 million to house them over in Mississippi while he continues to maintain the system that he got right now with a shortness of staff. The other day, we had 2 wardens standing out there feeding chow, ma'am. The wardens have to feed chow because we're so short of staff. We had 6 officers working. How many people? 200. How many people? 400. How many people on this unit? About 225. About 2,500 people. 6 people running a unit of 2,500 people, man. The wardens had to feed chow. So that's how short our staff is. The system is bad, and it needs to be fixed. If our government don't do nothing soon, man, this is going to be bad. People are going to be sleeping on the floors again, man. And our county jails are going to forever be corroded like they are, full of inmates. So that's our problem down here, man.
I mean, it truly looks like someone needs to take a look at really what's going on, because everybody can't be all bad that cannot be rehabbed, cannot have a second chance. Like I've heard so many people come on this show, and it can't be where people sit and make up these things, because y'all come from different units. Y'all are spread all over Texas. Some of y'all are thousands of miles apart from each other, but y'all stories are the same. Everything that y'all say is like a pattern, and it's not even the same words. It's the concept. It is it's crazy, because we see a pattern here. We see what's going on, but it's like nobody is stepping up. Nobody's doing nothing about it. Just like everybody just turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to what's going on right before their very eyes. And I don't understand how. I don't understand how the citizens will allow, these elected officials. We elect these people. Y'all elect these people. And if they're not doing what y'all need them to do, if you have a loved one that's incarcerated and your loved one is not being handled correctly, or something is going on, you have the right to speak up. You have the right to say something. You have the right to write these people. You have the right to reach out to your representative, your congressperson, your legislator, and make sure that these people are doing what they're supposed to do. Until I met a lot of these people that I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk to, I did not realize that there are so many innocent people behind prison walls. There are so many people that, even though some of these people did what they did, they don't deserve the time that they're serving. Like if they've been in another state, they would have been on probation. They would have probably have time served and, given some stipulations. it wouldn't be like a lot of the stuff. It's like everything that Texas do, they overdo it. And it's like they try to make an example out of everybody. You can't make an example out of everybody, because if you lock everybody up, then guess what? Eventually, you gonna start going downhill. You know, you people are not gonna keep wanting to come to Texas if they realize that, you know, there's an opportunity, that there's a chance that if I step left, these people can lock me up and throw away the key even if I didn't do nothing. You know,
That's
that
right.
is the reputation that Texas is getting right now. And that's not something that, you know,
Okay.
they should be proud of. You know, all the time. And I'm not
Okay.
going back down. I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to be quiet about this. And every time I see one of these representatives, one of these, even the governor, Monica De La Cruz, Ron Reynolds, Sherman, Carlos Sherman, Sheila Jackson Lee, Jeff Leach, all of y'all. I call y'all name because y'all are the ones that are over there on the Free Texas campaign page. And I know that y'all see the things that I post. I know that you are aware of the various things that I've shared, because I share them in emails. I send y'all emails. I tag y'all in emails. And I'm constantly saying, and I'm not going to stop, because all the way from South Carolina, I will allow my voice to be heard, because you guys, the world is watching y'all, whether y'all realize it or not. So many people are talking about the state of Texas and what's going on in the state of Texas. We did not realize that the state of Texas was like this. You know, everybody always talking about go to the big Lone Star State. You know, that's always somewhere that people want to visit. But you never hear people talking about moving there. They always talk about visiting. And now I see why. But I know that
Okay.
on this journey, you 33 years, you've been fighting for just various things. What are three of the pressing things right now that you would like to see change come immediately, so that these people that could have a second chance at life get free? We talking about immediate release type stuff, like
Okay.
something that can happen within, like all they got to do is walk over there and say, okay, let's open the doors and let this person out, this person out, this person out, this person out, and just
Okay.
start going down the list. So what would you like to see right now?
Ma'am, that's a good point to be made. Okay. As of right now, ma'am, look, our system have a process that, ma'am, they can issue an emergency release right now. Why? Because of a lot of people have been rehabilitated. We have people up in here that went to school and got master's degrees. Here in the state of Texas, the only way you can make parole, ma'am, is under 4A, which is institutional adjustment, and 6A, which is completion of program. Well, if a person done did all they have to do in the prison system, ma'am, and then got master degrees and everything, then they've complied with the rules of law. And therefore, the Texas Board of Department of Parole should honor them, you know, with release. But the parole board here in Texas, ma'am, what they're doing is blocking out the point system number and denying these people release. So with that being said, our governor has that power to overstep the parole board's authority, but he won't do that. You know, so as of right now, ma'am, what I've done, I've been recognized for pushing a bill called Joint House Resolution 53. And the Joint House Resolution 53 is a bill that if a person has done 10 years, you know, a judge has the power right now to grant them a reduction of their sentence or a reformation of their sentence, with the fact that they've completed its programs in the prison system right now. The bill was knocked down in the previous House, but it's been brought back up because the public has asked for this bill to be passed. So as of right now, we have 55 to 44% going on right now for the bill to pass. So as of right now, we have not heard anything whether or not it's a bill, it's a law, or whatever, but, you know, it's getting traction. So my point now is that if this same bill can apply to just a non-capital individual, but what about the capital individual? Should they be allowed to provide, you know, them the same access to a judge being able to consider their sentence too? Because they're under the second look deal. And they have to do 40 years mandatory. But if these individual kids have never had a chance of opportunity, ma'am, for any type of release to parole because of the fact that they committed a capital case, we're talking about kids who was influenced by an adult to commit a crime, who didn't have the capacity or the mental capability to know what they were doing, don't have no access to release. So with this bill, ma'am, I'm asking asking for state representatives and Texas lawmakers to allow this same bill that applies to a non-capital individual to apply to a capital individual. Okay, same way with the law parties bill, man. We have a law called the law party that if anybody commit a crime and you're a part of it, that everybody gets sentenced the same. But your culpability is the fact that you didn't even know what was going on, but still you're getting a life sentence for something you didn't have nothing to do with. So with that being said, we asking that the Texas law parties bill be changed, man, and that people that's committing the crime be the ones who are held accountable, not the person who didn't commit the crime. So that's one issue. And as far as our grand jury racketeering process, every indictment in this state is, man, is a fraud indictment. Why? Because of the secrecy of our grand jury process. These indictments are being issued without warrants being processed by judges, you know, to hold you accountable or hold you under probable cause. It's called Hernandez versus the City of Houston. It has been discovered that probable cause has not been established in the last 15 years of cases. And now here it is, a guy just won a class action lawsuit asking for them to release everybody who was convicted since 2012 under that law. And the court agreed with him and has granted him that opportunity. So with that being said, now it's happening in all these states down here, all these cities down here in Texas. So with that being said, ma'am, if anybody's listening to this is what we need to ask our state representatives, our Texas lawmakers, and our government them to do, is to recognize the corruption that's going on within our criminal justice system that's making this massive incarceration. And ask for them to reform the laws that they already have in place that can relieve the county jails and the prison systems and these inmates are serving all these long sentences, these inmates rehabilitated and stuff of, you know, being incarcerated for all these years, man. So that's what my point is on that.
Well, I tell you, you have definitely shared a lot of insight on tonight. A lot of us may not have known these different laws, these different bills, but you have definitely shared a lot of insight on that tonight. So I definitely thank you for stopping by and sharing with us and enlightening us on some of this of what's going on in the great old state of Texas. Well, I want to thank everyone that has chimed in on tonight, everyone that stopped by. Patrice, I thank you for tuning in. And all those that have tuned in, thank you for stopping by and sharing. If you would, please share this in your circle of influence. You never know what the next person may be standing in need of. You never know what nugget may be dropped into someone. Does not always have to be someone incarcerated that needs to know this. There may be an advocate out there, maybe someone that just have legal expertise that can drop some knowledge or may be able to see something that we may have missed. But we're always looking for that person that can assist, that person that's willing to help these individuals. And there's so many of them. There's thousands of individuals around this world, hundreds of thousands of individuals around this great state, the great United States of America, that are wrongfully and overly incarcerated because of judicial power and greed, money greed. Money and power are two things that will, I tell you, destroy anybody. And that's what a lot of people are allowing to happen, letting them take them out of their character and take them out of what they are called to do. But y'all, I want to thank you guys for stopping by again for another episode on the Crew Podcast. I want you guys to make sure that you stay tuned. 13 days of me, y'all. The visionary is coming from behind the scene, behind the screen. I will be live on air. 13 days of me, and I will be having visionaries stop by and share. So tomorrow we have Dr. Richelle Michelin. She will be stopping by and sharing with us. So y'all tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live right here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Again, I thank you guys so much for being a part of this amazing network. I tell you, I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. Thank you guys. I love you, and I appreciate you guys so much. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Y'all have a great night. Bless you.